Hey everyone, it's George from Blockchain TXP and today is the 12th of December 2022 and the month of December is definitely not looking good for the global cryptocurrency market. And in today's episode, we're going to be discussing some not so good numbers, particularly to do with DeFi, stablecoins, and to be honest, the overall cryptocurrency market is not looking good at all. But today, we have some massive news of the legend Sam Bankman-Fried. Now he's willing to testify, and most likely this would be aired via YouTube, and I'm going to be explaining and giving my thoughts on it. Now there's also currently a war going on stablecoins, so we'll be discussing what the future of Tether.to USDT is in comparison to USDC, and I very strongly feel that Binance BUSD is also in the mix so far as the war on stablecoins is concerned. Now we also have some massive update regarding Crypto.com, and they have released proof of reserves. Now this proof of reserve is a little bit different, so this whole notion of don't trust, verify is actually applicable, and you as users can verify the funds. So I'm going to be discussing, if you're a Crypto.com user, how you can go ahead and validate if Crypto.com does actually have their funds. Now listen guys, this week is going to be really important because the Federal Reserve Board will be announcing the interest rates. Now based on the last month's performance, it is very highly possible that this interest rate would be relatively less, but it's going to be really interesting to see what the interest rate hike is and what kind of an impact will that have on the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. What are your thoughts guys with the announcement of interest rate hike? Will the cryptocurrency market pump or will it dump towards the end of this month? So really critical information taking place on the 13th and 14th of this month. Now regarding UAE, I have two news, and the first news is about a partnership. So the news is Huobi partners with Tafabot, and Tafabot is a Dubai-based company. So I'm going to be giving some information about it, and I'm going to be sharing my opinions and thoughts on that. And the second news, which is published by a leading publication that is Cointelegraph, has to do with Zogi Labs, which is also based in Dubai and other parts of the world as well. So the news is Zogi token launches on Kronos, Binance BNB chain, and Ethereum. So I'm going to be very briefly talking about that in today's episode. So let's kickstart today's episode. Welcome everyone, it's 18 here in Dubai and you're listening to Crypto and Coffee at 8, where we cover top news and information pertaining to Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi and Metaverse. And how the series of episodes on the Crypto and Coffee at 8 works is, we usually cover some top news and information pertaining to the price of cryptocurrencies, some major breaking news, occasionally short and sweet news as well, news that has an impact in the cryptocurrency world. The other two news and information is related to Dubai, UAE and Middle East and the world of Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi and Metaverse. And this is followed by Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions from the cryptocurrency world. And every Fridays we have an episode called Metaverse Everything, where we solely focus on Metaverse. So please check out those episodes as well. And the format for Metaverse Everything is completely different. And what I tend to do is I tend to publish a daily and weekly report via my LinkedIn. So please follow me on LinkedIn. My LinkedIn profile is in the show notes below. But before we kickstart today's episode, I have an important message, so check this out. Firstly guys, Startup OI is global one-tech platform for tech. It offers global high-paying tech jobs with flexibility in working time and location, global free tech events, and tech networks to connect with global like-minded engineers. A brilliant platform to listen to the tech experts in Metaverse and to grab their insights. Now listen, all you have to do is download the app Startup OI. If you're using an Android version, go to Google Store and App Store for iOS devices. Alternatively, you can also click on the show notes below to download Startup OI. Next, guys, listen, if you're into fitness, if you're into adventure, if you want to do something wild but still want to keep your health in check, there is a new podcast in town, a podcast focusing on obstacle course race in the Middle East. The podcast is called Rise in the Obstacle Course Race, and Rise in the Obstacle Course Race podcast is a peer-to-peer community-driven podcast where they talk all about obstacle course race in the Middle East, from Sandstorm to Spartan Race, from Tough Mudder to Desert Warrior Challenge, and also the Government Gov Games, and quite a lot more. The podcast has interviews with athletes locally and internationally to get inside scoop on how athletes prepare for obstacle course race. In the podcast, they also talk about interesting stories on why they are motivated to do obstacle course race. And that's not all. They also plan to release 7 NFTs. And these NFTs are no ordinary. These NFTs will represent every emirate in the UAE. And listen guys, these NFTs are going to be absolutely massive. So do one thing, go to Spotify, go to iTunes, go to any leading podcasting platform and search for Rise in the Obstacle Course Race podcast. And finally, guys, not your keys, not your crypto. If you have dabbled with cryptocurrencies and now are seriously getting to protect your cryptocurrencies, there is no better way to protect it by using a hardware wallet. And this is where Ledger Wallet kicks in. And Ledger Wallets are hardware cryptocurrency wallets made by Ledger, a company headquartered in Paris, France. And Ledger's hardware wallets are multi-currency wallets that are used to store private keys for cryptocurrencies offline. And Ledger offers two hardware wallets, the Ledger Nano and Ledger Nano X wallets. They are world-class experts with extensive crypto security backgrounds. They continuously look for vulnerabilities in Ledger products in a constant effort to improve the level of security. Now, in today's world, securing these digital assets is a critical challenge, and this is where Ledger kicks in. So click the link below to buy your hardware wallet and support this podcast. It is a brilliant way to support this podcast. So what are you waiting for? The link is in the show notes below. Now, since you've taken care of that, let's look at the global cryptocurrency market as of 12th of December 2022. And to be honest, guys, the numbers are not looking good at all. There are a couple of metrics which are really concerning, particularly to do with DeFi and also the volume of stable coins. And to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if this is the lowest matrix for 2022. Now let's kickstart by looking at the global crypto market. It is at $846.79 billion. Since the last 24 hours, it is down by 1.02%. Now listen to this, guys. The total crypto market volume over the last 24 hours is $27.18 billion, and this is a ridiculously low volume. Now, I'm not sure if you're in the gold market, but looks like since the last month or so, the prices of gold have increased, and also people in UFC who have been talking about cryptocurrencies lately have been discussing about precious metals. So the talk of cryptocurrencies is gradually going down, and precious metals is kicking up. Now, I'm not sure if you guys do actually watch UFC, but I do watch a lot of UFC, and a lot of the podcasters, they used to advertise cryptocurrencies, but since the last week or so, rather than advertising cryptocurrency projects and cryptocurrency protocols, they are advertising precious metals related things. It looks like precious metals such as gold is definitely providing a hedge against inflation and possibly also during war times as well. Now let's look at what has happened in the last 24 hours. The global cryptocurrency market has increased by 14.36%. But look, guys, the craziest matrix is the volume in DeFi. The volume on DeFi is currently at $1.83 billion. And to be honest, this just might be the lowest volume I have seen in 2022. The total value locked is $42.19 billion, and MakerDAO counts for 14.93% with $6.30 billion. Now, if you guys listen to other podcasts, Bankless is one of my favorite podcasts in the cryptocurrency space, and they were discussing that in order for DeFi, it needs to have at least 5 times to 10 times the volume of stable coins. And to be honest, right now the volume of DeFi is less than 1/10 of the volume of stable coins. So really, I'm not sure what the future of DeFi is going to be. Now, I do understand that the Terra Luna collapse has gone down, FTX collapse has happened, but these are cases why DeFi protocols should actually shine. They should show the use case of DeFi. Unfortunately, DeFi is definitely not heading in the right direction. Now let's quickly look at the top 5 DeFi protocols, keeping in mind the total value locked. Lido is at number 2nd with $6.14 billion locked, Aave at $3.79 billion locked, and Curve with $3.74 billion locked, and Uniswap at $3.51 billion. Now if you look at the volume of stable coins, this once again might be the lowest I've seen in 2022. So really, I'm not sure what is going on in the cryptocurrency world. The total volume of all stablecoins is down to $24.53 billion. And later on, we'll be discussing a war going on among stablecoins and which stablecoin will actually withstand time. Now, as of now, Tether.to USDT accounts for $18.87 billion out of the entire $24.53 billion locked. USDC accounts for $1.48 billion, and Binance USD accounts for $4.16 billion. And stablecoin accounts for 90.25% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. So looks like December is turning out to be one of the worst months, particularly for DeFi and stablecoins. Now let's look at the market share, 24-hour trading volume and dominance between Bitcoin and Ethereum. Bitcoin's dominance is $326 billion and Ethereum's is way below the 50% mark of Bitcoin's market share. It is at $153.7 billion. The 24-hour trading volume of Bitcoin is $15.9 billion, whereas Ethereum is at $3.7 billion. And the dominance of Bitcoin is 38.56% and Ethereum's is at 18.20%. Now last week, guys, I was looking at the market cap of privacy-preserving protocols, and this week what I'm going to be doing is looking at the market cap of the top 5 smart contracting platform. Ethereum is clearly an outlier and its market cap is $153 billion. Binance BNB is at $45.67 billion. Cardano is at $10.58 billion. Polkadot at $6.07 billion and Tron at $4.98 billion. Now my big question is, once Metaverse goes mainstream, what kind of an impact will it have to smart contracting platform? Will Ethereum still withstand time, or will there be a smart contracting platform catered only to Metaverse? That would be great if that thing happens on Ethereum, but considering the blockchain trilemma problem, I wouldn't be surprised, let's say 5 to 6 years down the line, there is a blockchain platform focusing on smart contracts catered only to Metaverse. And if that thing happens, I do have a feeling that that market cap will be dominating and superseding all of the top 5 smart contracting platforms combined. Now, what are your thoughts? Mention them in the comments below. Now let's look at the price of Bitcoin, the king of all kings. It is at $16,902, and since the last 24 hours it is down by 1.46%. Since the last 7 days it is down by 2.17%. Ethereum is at $1,246. Since the last 24 hours it is down by 1.95%. Since the last 7 days it is down by 3.72%. Binance Coin or BNB, the price is $283. Since the last 24 hours it is down by 2.13%. Since the last 7 days it is down by 4.39%. Now if you look at these prices, since the last 24 hours it is definitely not looking ideal. Now what would happen once the FOMC meeting takes place and Jerome Powell does announce the interest rate? What I think is the prices might temporarily have a moment. It could either go up or it could go down. Now guys, let's discuss some massive news that is taking on in the FTX world. Now the role model CEO Sam Bankman-Fried, or should I say former CEO Sam Bankman-Fried of FTX, is willing to testify on the 13th. So tomorrow, what I really urge you to do is go to Twitter and follow Maxine Waters. Now she's representing the US House Committee of Financial Services. Now what I really do not like about this particular news is that both of them are from extreme left-leaning parties. So it's really possible that they are going to show a favoritism to Sam Bankman-Fried. That is because of his political affiliations and donation to extreme left-leaning party. But if you do want to get updated with the information, go to Twitter and follow US House Committee of Financial Services. And this particular tweet does highlight tweets from Maxine Waters. There is a lot of back and forth conversation. If you read through the conversation, it looks like the conversation is so polite, and Sam Bankman-Fried did actually confirm that he's willing to testify on the 13th. Now it's possible that he's most likely going to be testifying it via online, and most likely this will be on YouTube. In the Twitter, he did specifically mention that he will try to explain on 4 things. The first one being FTX US's solvency and American customers. The second that he's going to be discussing is pathways that could return value to users internationally. And the third thing, which he's going to give us an explanation on what he thinks led to the crash, and finally his own failings. So it's really critical to truly understand how this thing would work. Now based on my understanding, this thing should be broadcasted live via YouTube. Now look guys, what I really urge you to do is, rather than reading articles via mainstream media or listening to cryptocurrency influencers, go to YouTube, watch the entire hearing live. Now I must say it is extremely painful because usually these hearings tend to last for a couple of days. There's a lot of questions and they're given a particular time limit to answer these questions. But if you want to get the right information, want to get updated, I would really urge you guys to go ahead and watch the entire hearing. or once it is recorded, you can possibly listen to it at 2x the speed or 3x the speed, but that way at least you know the right information. Because what happens is people tend to add and give their own opinions, which surprisingly is completely different from what the facts are. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm definitely going to be listening to the entire hearing, and I'm going to be giving my opinions based on what I feel is right. But what I would recommend you to do is listen to the entire hearing, make up your own opinion. Now the next massive news is about Crypto.com, and the news is that Crypto.com has released proof of reserves, and these proof of reserves are attested by Mazars, and Mazars is an accounting firm. Now with this attestation, users can verify that the crypto assets are fully backed one-on-one on the platform, and this is thanks to Sam Bankman-Fried. Now Crypto.com has over 70 million customers worldwide and is an industry leader in regulatory compliance, security, and privacy certifications, and they have released an audited proof of reserves. Now, does this mean that this is 100% genuine? Definitely not, because it is possible that what if Mazars has given incorrect information? So the whole notion, particularly when you talk about cryptocurrencies, is don't trust, verify. Now, what I must commend is that Crypto.com has published a blog, and in that blog, they have given ways how you can even verify your funds. Now listen, this is only applicable if you are a Crypto.com user. So I don't use Crypto.com, but if you are a Crypto.com user, go to the section where it says where you can verify the funds that Crypto.com actually has, and this is absolutely brilliant. But as an industry, is that thing enough? I definitely do not think so, because what happens is if Crypto.com artificially manipulates that data and shows you that information, so as an industry, I do think that we need to focus on proof of keys. Now, will that thing happen? I really doubt so. And last week, I did talk about Tim Draper, who is one of the Bitcoin advocates, does feel that as an industry, we as humankind will be moving towards proof of keys. I really doubted that would happen. And if that thing does actually happen, he predicts that the price of Bitcoin could touch $250,000. Now, what are your thoughts, guys? As an individual and as citizens of Earth, will we be positioned to manage our own keys and not rely on cryptocurrency exchanges? It should happen, but will it happen? Extremely unlikely. Now, guys, let's talk about some news regarding stablecoins. Now, listen, guys, there's some massive work going on in stablecoins. One thing which I've been observing, particularly in 2022, the volume of stablecoins is low, and it accounts for a majority of the chunk of the global cryptocurrency market. Now, in September, we talked about Binance. What they try to do is they try to convert USDC to Binance USD, because of which the volume of Circle USDC has been growing down. But what happened a few days ago is that Coinbase did publish a blog on its website, and what they had planned to do is they are urging the users to convert Tether.to USDT to Circle USDC, and if you were to do that, there will be no fees at all. But what would eventually happen because of this is that the transaction volume of USDC would go high and Tether USDT will go down. So if you are a Coinbase user, they have published a really critical blog called as Switch to the Trusted and Reputable Digital Dollar USDC. Now we also need to take into consideration when Circle USDC is talked about, Coinbase was one of the founding members of the consortium in which Circle USDC was created. Now the blog states stability and trust are the utmost importance to customers, and fiat-backed stablecoins, that is cryptocurrencies pegged to reserve assets like the US dollar, provide customer stability and confidence during times of volatility. Now look, guys, personally, if given a choice between Tether USDT, Circle USDC and Binance USD, I would personally prefer Circle USDC, followed by Binance USD, and the last that I probably would trust, or maybe not even trust at all, is Tether USDT. So I kind of agree to what Coinbase is saying. And CoinDesk, they have also published an article that states Coinbase highlights questions about Tether reserves in the campaign to get users over to USDC, and on-chain data shows that USDT is the third most widely traded digital asset on Coinbase, representing 5% of the volume of the exchange. Personally, I'm not a fan of Tether USDT, and this is a theme that I've been echoing for almost 2 years now. And look, guys, the biggest black swan event in the cryptocurrency space most likely could be Tether USDT. If you are concerned about stablecoins, what I would really recommend you to do is look at the volume of stablecoins. Tether USDT often accounts for a majority of the chunk, not just in stablecoins, but in the entire cryptocurrency volume. Now, could it be possible that Tether USDT is creating Tether USDT out of thin air, using that to buy Bitcoin? The theory is 100% right. Unfortunately, the backing or reserves by Tether USDT is by just pure paper. And I still remember the very first audit that they did was a one-page document. It wasn't even a document, it was just a pie chart. And earlier this year, I did talk about Tether USDT. They did hire an auditing firm from Italy, and that auditing firm was eventually fined for a completely different audit for providing incorrect data. So this also goes back to the point of Crypto.com, which I mentioned earlier. Just because they're having an audit does not make it 100% legitimate. As users, we need to make sure that the funds are in our hands. And this goes back to the very second line of Bitcoin white paper. The main benefits are lost if a central mediary or entity is required to prevent double spend. And Andreas Antonopoulos has always been saying, not your keys, not your crypto. Now guys, let's talk about two news regarding UAE. The first news that I'd like to talk about is a partnership news, and this is between Huobi. And Huobi announced via Twitter that they have partnered with Tafabot. Now let me try to give some information about what Tafabot is. Now Tafabot, the website is Tafabot.com, which is spelled as T for Tango, A for Alpha, F for Frank, A for Alpha, B for Bravo, O for Orange, T for Tango.com. Now what they tend to do is they help users execute smarter trades using different bots options suitable for bullish, bearish or sideways market condition. And as the name indicates, they're working on bots, and they are located in an iconic building in Business Bay, Dubai. What Tafabot does is they offer automated trading tools and are currently supported on 25 major cryptocurrency exchanges. Now the information that I got via the LinkedIn page states that Tafabot brings over 30 years of finance, investing and trading experience into the cryptocurrency space, and they are also focused more on blockchain services. And they retweeted what Huobi Cryptocurrency Exchange tweeted, and the tweet actually says that Tafabot becomes the first official broker partner of Huobi. So this is definitely a big news. And Tafabot provides what is today the world's fastest automated trading tool with a bot speed of up to 5 seconds. It is also one of the most diversified bot systems, with bot options developed for optimal performance in trading bullish, bearish and sideways market condition. Both Huobi and Tafabot view this partnership as a strategic step towards improving the easy adoption of crypto and blockchain knowledge across communities around the world. Now look guys, if you're into trading and if you're working with bots, I would definitely recommend to give it a try. And Sam Bankman-Fried for FTX was known for creating bots that actually helped him to become a billionaire. At least that's what we thought of. Now Samuel Benedict and Dr. Ovu, or called as Atubo Victor, has said that our primary motto, especially for now, is excellence and speed. We're glad that in just 50 days of going live, we have already closed a strategic partnership with one of the largest players in the industry. For us, it's reassuring that what we are doing is really having a noticeable impact. Now, if you're into trading, I would definitely recommend to go ahead and check Tafabot, because they have different services such as the martingale bots, DCA bots or daily cost averaging bots, custom bots, grid bots, SIB bots, also called a smart investment bot, arbitrage bot, mirror trading bot, crypto signal bots, and quite a lot of other. And guys, apart from enabling newbie and advanced traders to set up bots on all major exchanges for the spot, futures and arbitrage trading, Tafabot was also built for house features like they also have their own wallets, they have game predict and win, and affiliate programs as well. So interesting concept really, but I'm not a trader, so I definitely do not tend to use this. But if you are into trading and if you want to make quick monies, even if the market is bullish or bearish, I would recommend to definitely go ahead and check this thing. Now let's talk about the second news for today, and that is Zogi token launches on Kronos, Binance BNB, and Ethereum. So let me try to give some information of what Zogi token is. And this is published by Cointelegraph. Zogi Labs is a blockchain and gaming studio housing over 60 professionals with offices in Dubai, China, and Pakistan. And what I found out via LinkedIn is that Bizogi Earth and Legends of Bizogia are intellectual property and trademarks of Zogi Labs Limited, and Bizogi Earth is a unique utility and deflationary ERC20 token on the Ethereum network. It's first of many developing use cases, including Legends of Bizogia, a play-to-earn open-world MMORPG design with a unique rent-to-earn mechanism. It features rich, low, gritty combat and epic landscapes filled with adventures and explorations, so you can learn more about Bizogi app and Legends of the Bizogia at the website that is bizogi.com. Now they also have a token called as Zogi token, and the ticker symbol is the $sign followed by Zogi, that is Z for zebra, O for orange, G for George, I for India. And Zogi token is an ERC20 utility token on Ethereum, Kronos, and Binance BNB chain. So essentially it is a wrapped version of the primary token, that is Bizogi, with the symbol in the front for its ticker symbol, in the Zogi Labs decentralized ecosystem. So it looks like they're absolutely into everything. And the website for Zogi Labs is zogilabs.io, and the Zogi token is a wrapped version of the primary Bizogi token, optimized for the Zogi Labs decentralized ecosystem. So from day one of the launch, Zogi will be available on Kronos, Binance BNB chain, and Ethereum, and they are rapidly boosting the exposure of the token, which can now be wrapped and moved between chains instantly with very low gas fees using the upcoming Zogi bridge. Now Steve Murray, he's the CEO of Zeo Labs, has said, with the launch of Zogi on Kronos, Binance BNB, and Ethereum, we are taking a native token Bizogi to the next level by allowing users to wrap the Bizogi into Zogi and bridge it quickly and securely between chains. And Zogi expands our ecosystem to multi-chain, and we expect to see massive growth and exposure given our dedicated community the flexibility they need to increase the utility of the Bizogi and Zogi tokens. At this point of time, I'm really not sure how big the community is, but in protocols and projects such as this, it all depends on the community. And if they have a massive community, and I mean genuine community, not bots, then this could be an absolute game changer. Let me try to give some more information on how the wrap and the bridging in Zogi Hub works. The Zogi Hub acts as a portal for everything Zogi, and within the decentralized applications, users will be able to access all Zogi products in one place, with the wrapper and bridge being available first. And wrapping allows Bizogi holders to wrap their tokens into Zogi at 1:1 billion ratio, and Zogi can then be bridged to one of the new chains, that is either on Kronos, Ethereum, or Binance BNB chain, using the fast and secure Zogi bridge. The bridge developed in-house gives Zogi holders total control over the bridging process, maximizing security and transparency with every transactions, letting customers bridge between chains with ease and comfort in a single click. Now look, guys, this particular project and protocol is more relevant if you have an extremely strong community, if you have dedicated people who are willing to play these games or these protocols across different blockchain protocols. Now, I really am not sure at this point of time how big the community is. So if you are someone who uses this, and if you're interested in using it across different protocols, let's say at Kronos, Ethereum, and Binance BNB chain, most likely it might be a great thing. Now let me try to give some information which is relevant for users of this system. The launch of Zogi gives current and new Bizogi holders the flexibility to hold the tokens on 3 different chains as opposed to just one. With the goal of being agnostic, multi-chain Zogi presents holders with the following benefits: lower gas fees, enhanced flexibility, access to new ecosystem because each chain has its own unique user base, more chains to be supported in the near future. The only way to mint Zogi is by locking Bizogi into the wrapped contract, and Zogi can be unwrapped at the same rate so that users can reap the benefits of both tokens. Now personally, I don't use these tokens or protocols, so I really am not sure what to make of it. But once again, guys, if you're someone who uses this thing, make sure that you check if the community is massive and if the community is genuine. If that is the case, it definitely helps with better use cases and makes transition from one protocol to another extremely easier with its bridge protocol. So that's all for today, guys, from the Crypto and Coffee at 8 from Blockchain DXB. In case if you have any feedback or suggestions, please drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com, and also check out my website www.blockchaindxb.com, and also check out my other website, that is area2071.com, that talks everything about Metaverse. And if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. Now for the next few minutes, it's going to be an Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. So let's kick start with the Ask Me Anything series. Hey everyone, it's George from Blockchain DX. You're listening to the Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. And remember guys, Monday to Thursdays, 8 am to 8:30 am, we have Crypto and Coffee at 8, where we cover top news and information pertaining to Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. And this is followed by two news and information related to Dubai, UAE, and Middle East in the world of Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. And what you're listening to right now is the Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions from the cryptocurrency world. And I have a question by Lainey who asks, could stricter regulations have helped prevent FTX collapse? Now, unfortunately, Lainey, stricter regulations would have not prevented an FTX collapse. Now, so far as FTX is concerned, you need to understand that FTX was not registered in US. It was registered all the way in Bahamas. Even Tether.to USDT, it is registered in some remote island. And this is one of the drawbacks when you look at cryptocurrency and blockchain protocols. They are not registered in the countries where they are operating. Most often, they are registered in Bahamas or in Cayman Islands or in some remote place, and then they are operating to other parts of the world. Now, are they following the regulations in that particular area? And the answer to that most likely would be yes, but those rules and regulations may not be applicable, let's say, to US, to Canada, to Dubai, to UAE, and other parts of the world. So could stricter regulations have helped prevent FTX's collapse? Unfortunately, the answer to that is no. Even if you look at the Terra Luna collapse, even if they had the best regulations in place, the outcome would still be the same. And currently what is going on right now is some kind of drama between Aave, Curve Finance, and there's a single trader who's trying to manipulate the situation. And in this case, he's making his transaction details completely open, and he's trying to manipulate the given situation. It makes perfect sense, and unfortunately, even future regulations will not prevent collapses such as FTX, Terra Luna, or any other areas. Because you need to understand, Eleni, that there are different rules based on different locations, and notorious people do tend to find out some loopholes, and the loopholes need not necessarily be rules and regulations related, but loopholes in the system. And so far as cryptocurrency is concerned, it's really hard to prevent any collapses. But I do think, Lainey, what as an industry, what needs to be done is a better understanding of the technology. And I hate to say this, 90% of the people still do not understand the basics of Bitcoin and blockchain technology. And last week I did talk about one of the companies. They were trying to solve the problems in the blockchain world, but they did not even mention centralization. That's how scary it is. So as an industry, Lainey, I do think that we are far behind, let's say, even in comparison to the internet. A lot of them still do not understand what Bitcoin is. One thing which I often say is once you truly understand what Bitcoin is, you will understand what it is not. And blockchain as such does have very limited use cases. Now going back to your question, and I'll try to give some points which is related to FTX collapse, and that has to do with cryptocurrency exchanges. Now can there be stricter regulations for exchanges? 100% yes. And this is where I do believe that Dubai Savara, that is Virtual Asset Regulatory Authority, they do have some really strict regulations, and they are also innovative and supportive of cryptocurrency exchanges from all across the world to move their headquarters in Dubai. But it still cannot prevent a collapse such as FTX, and there is very high possibility that there are other protocols and projects that will collapse in the near future. If you look at EOS, one of the biggest scams in the cryptocurrency protocols, they raised $4.1 billion, and the protocol is pretty much dead. And what they did with that $4.10 billion, they ended up buying Bitcoin, and they might be multi-billionaires by now. And this is what they did. Now, there are two ways of looking at it. You might say that they are extremely notorious or they're extremely clever. Paid their fines. Now, imagine raising $4 billion and officially paying the fine to SEC for roughly around $25 million. still an absolute bargain. So to answer your question, Lainey, could stricter regulations have helped prevent FTX collapse? Unfortunately, no. And most likely, we will be seeing similar collapses, not just in the cryptocurrency space, but also in the blockchain space. And I wouldn't be surprised pretty soon we'll also be hearing some collapse in the metaverse space. And while I was preparing for this podcast, I also read a post via LinkedIn which tried to connect cryptocurrencies with metaverse. Now listen, Lainey, metaverse does not need to be connected to cryptocurrencies whatsoever. Metaverse does not need to be connected with blockchain protocols as well. Now, all of these blockchain protocols and cryptocurrency protocols are trying to get themselves connected with metaverse because of the hype. Now, that's not to say that it cannot be connected. Cryptocurrency is a brilliant use case in the metaverse. Blockchain protocol is a brilliant use case in the metaverse, but a metaverse does not need them. Metaverse could function on its own without cryptocurrencies and blockchain protocols, or even without the whole Web 3.0 protocols as well. And every Fridays, I do release an episode called Metaverse Everything, and I definitely quite often talk about it. Now, based on my understanding, unfortunately, central bank digital currencies make a perfect use case in the metaverse. And this is purely talking about medium of payment, and talking about medium of exchange, and talking about the value of buying NFTs in the metaverse. Now, I personally am not a fan of central bank digital currencies, but that would definitely prevent a collapse similar to FTX or Terra Luna or other protocols. And this is keeping in mind purely the metaverse. And the reason I wanted to bring this thing up is just before I was preparing for this podcast, I did read an article which for no reason tried to connect cryptocurrencies and blockchain with metaverse. So that's all for today, guys, on the Ask Me Anything series in Blockchain DXB. In case if you have any feedback or suggestions, please drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com, and also check out my website www.blockchaindxb.com, and also check out my other website, that is area2071.com, that talks everything about metaverse. And if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. And remember, guys, Monday to Thursdays, 8 a.m. to 8:30 a.m., we have Crypto and Coffee at 8, where we cover top news and information pertaining to Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and metaverse. And how the series of episodes on the Crypto and Coffee at 8 works is, we usually cover some top news and information pertaining to the price of cryptocurrencies, some major breaking news, occasionally short and sweet news as well, news that has an impact in the cryptocurrency world. The other 2 news and information is related to Dubai, UAE and Middle East in the world of Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and metaverse. And what you're listening to right now is the Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions from the cryptocurrency world. Thanks so much for listening, guys, and have a great day ahead. Bye-bye.